Welcome to the Scalable Real Estate Investing Podcast, where we discuss the most scalable strategies, tools, and approaches to successfully invest in real estate. Learn how to make the most impact of your time, automate your real estate investing business, find off-market deals with minimum time invested, and leverage your capital to create as many income streams as possible so that you can achieve true financial independence. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Mason Clement. Hi, Scalable Investors. Before we get into today's episode, I'd like to tell you about a group that I'm a part of called HiveMind. If you're serious about taking the next step in your real estate investing career, then this is definitely a group that you need to join. Some of our members are making $90,000 or more per month and as much as $300,000 on just one deal. And at the same time, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars like you typically would joining other mastermind groups. This is only $99 per month. And when you join, you'll gain access to a robust integrated CRM software that allows you to track your leads, run automated triggers, and ultimately scale your marketing efforts. So the difference here is that you're not left high and dry, but gain access to a support network that allows you to use that tool and learn from other more experienced real estate investors. So to learn more, go to scalablerei.com/HiveMind. That's HIVEMIND. Thanks a lot. Let's get into the episode. Hi, Scalable Real Estate Investors. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Scalable Real Estate Investing. I'm your host, Mason Clement, and today we have with us Christina Walls, who is an active obviously everyone's real estate investors, but a land investor, which I'm excited to have on the show because I'm trying to get more land investing folks in here as I build out my own land investing business. And Christina is also a coach in Jack Bosch's Land Profit Generator program. So really excited to have her tell us all about that and everything else. So Christina, what's going on today in your world? How's it going?
It's going really well. Thanks, Mason, for having me on. Just working my business, growing my business, chasing after land deals, buying and selling. And it's a hot market right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. You have an interesting background, though. I don't think you initially started in real estate at all. So why don't you just tell us what brought you to real estate and land?
So, no, I don't. I didn't have a real estate background. I actually went to school for creative writing, wrote a play, did bicycle tours, traveled around in my 20s. And then I started a service business in my 30s in Central Florida. But I had always wanted to do real estate, but I didn't think I had the money. I didn't think I had the education. I just didn't know how to get into it. It seemed kind of like a lofty idea. And then I had a son who was in school, and I was, running a business, taking him to school, taking him to, sports and this and that. But whenever he turned 15 and I knew he was going to start driving, I said, okay, I'm going to take the time to learn about real estate. And I just joined one of my local REIAs, Real Estate Investors Association. If anybody's interested in going into real estate, you need to find your local REIA to get hooked in there with local investors. And so I was sitting in a class one day, and Jack Bosch was giving a class on land flipping. And there was a couple sitting in front of me, and they had just finished their 2 transactions in land, made like $20K each deal. And it resonated with me. Land did, because like I could do it from anywhere. I didn't have to flip a house. I didn't have to buy paint. I didn't have to worry about crews. I didn't have to deal with floors, none of that. And my long-term goal was to be able to create a business around how I wanted to live, which would include traveling, doing it remotely, making capital to invest in other income-producing assets. And it just resonated with me. So I bought the program and did my first deal in 30 days, made $8,000. And I was like, wow, this really works. And it was just repeat after that. And so, yeah.
Great. Yeah, I know that I didn't go through Jack's program, but I know that in my first 4 months, I locked in $70,000 of profit. And I was like, I'm clipping at a rate faster than my day job. So this is pretty good. I'm going to stick to this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's extremely exciting. So Jack's program, how long did that take you to go through it, or anyone else to go through it the first time around?
Well, so the benefit of the program is it's literally step one, step two, step three, step four, and you don't have to, I think there's like 20 modules just in the very basic program. And then there's coaching and there's other options. So the benefit of step one, step two is you don't have to know what step 20 is. Step one, apply. Step two, apply. So I literally, within 30 days, I had gone through the modules, but I was also applying what I could based on where I was. So step one would be find an area, do mailings, send out neutral letters, and start looking into getting deals. And I also had incorporated blind offers to people who were tax delinquent. And that was where I got my first deal. And I sold the lot directly to the neighbor, which meant I didn't really have to market it. So, and all of that is in the program. So it really is based on you and how quick you want to do a deal and how quick you want to get through the basic information.
Okay. Um, but the total time you pay a fee, and then are you part of the program for like 12 months, or is there like a runway that's provided, or how's it work?
Well, so there's a private group, a Facebook private group, which is kind of like your support. So time frame, I mean, it's kind of based on you, because the videos, like if you just do the basic entry level LPG, land profit generator, the videos are like 40-45 minutes, and there's like 20 videos. Now, if you join in coaching, then it's a little different. I think if there's like a 6 week or a few weeks where you're getting basic training, and then you go into one-on-one coaching. So it kind of depends on where your starting point is. So I didn't do coaching until later, and I entered into coaching to scale my business, not to do deals. I can do deals pretty easily, and I'm not intimidated in terms of those type of things.
Okay. And so I guess it's like two different tiers that you would be buying into. Like you'd probably pay more for the coaching.
Yes, that's right. And it accelerates it can very much accelerate your I guess your success in the program. And it kind of depends on you as a person. If you're a go-getter, the coaching is just going to accelerate your ability to be successful.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I've found that coaching definitely helps me overcome these internal mental obstacles. So I think that everyone has when getting started, especially if you're an analytical person that kind of overanalyzes everything. And you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but um, sometimes your mind always gets to that and overcomplicates things. So I think it's super valuable. I fully agree that is someone telling you what to do and
Mhm.
just copy their business model. That's been like the most valuable thing I've learned in like the past year. Just don't reinvent the wheel.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And that's what, so people try to reinvent the wheel, and they have their own mental stumbling blocks. Either they're over analytical, or they come from a position of lack and insecurity, or, whatever that might be, whatever hinders them from getting to success. And
Yeah.
that's where having a coach is good. There was times I think that me and my coach, we were like having therapy sessions on how to overcome internal obstacles, areas of lack, things that you grow up with. And it was a wonderful experience.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, there is these preconceived notions that your parents and other your friends and family, teachers, whatever, as you're growing up, all these different external influences that are telling you how to look at money and stuff. And like, well, they're not financially independent, so why would I be taking advice from them? But you don't know that you are. It's just like on a subconscious level, right? And you have to like extract that and reprogram your mind, right?
Yeah, yeah. You have to change, you have to add something different. Yeah. And sometimes until you get in a new circle, you will continue down that same path, but once you start getting into, and that was kind of a side benefit in the land profit generator that I did not see coming. I did not see the shift in my mind frame. I did not see the support that I got, that I'd never gotten anywhere else, that helped me grow in my business and personally. I don't think you can grow in a business and stay the same personally. You have to uh, change personally in order to grow professionally.
Yeah. I agree. Actually, after going through my coaching program, not to steal Jack's thunder, but I went through Willie G and Paul's program. And after like working with them and working with some other folks, I've found that there's still like just certain obstacles. Like if you don't have deal flow, your mind might creep back into the scarcity mindset. And so it's all about like increasing, just having just tons of deal options so you're not desperate for a deal. So why don't you tell me from your perspective how important it is, like on a daily basis, to manage your mindset, and like, what mindset do you feel you need to have to succeed going forward, even after LPG, land profit generator?
So I think mind frame is more important than money.
Mhm.
So I think that I've kind of been experiencing different things recently about I realized that whenever you're coming from a place of I want, I need, you're coming from a place of lack. But when you're coming from a place of being open and how can you benefit, how can you bring to yourself what it is you want, you have to make different choices. And again, sometimes those choices take getting around new people. I think mind frame is crucial. You know, you can't make seven figures and stay in a six-figure mind frame. You can't level up in a business and begin to draw to yourself what you want whenever you're sitting in a lack, or you're concentrating on what you don't have or just what you want. You have to make those changes. And sometimes it really does take new circles of people, you know, and you just be surprised. And you have to move in the direction that you want to move in, not look at where you are, but look at where you want to go and start moving in that direction. And I have found that doors start opening up, opportunities just start presenting themselves, bigger deals start uh, being in your query to sell, you know, and it makes a huge difference. And until you've kind of overcome personal obstacles and mental obstacles, you know, you oftentimes just go down the same path that leads to the same results. And to get better results and new results, you have to have new choices and new options. And that takes mind frame. Definitely.
So, like every morning, are you reciting certain lines to pump you up, or what's your process look like?
So my process, and it is a process, definitely. So every morning I get up and I take a walk. I walk around a really nice lake in my area, in my neighborhood, and I don't really listen to anything. I just try to be present, you know, and I listen to the birds and look around and this and that. And then I come home and I meditate. And sometimes I'm working on letting go of what, you know, whatever I'm holding on to. I often, you know, I feel like a lot of my meditation and a lot of my getting my mind right is letting go of things that like maybe I'm concerned about, things that I'm holding on to. So then after I go through that, I usually take a shower and go sit down at the computer and start working. But I do oftentimes listen to books. You know, I also try to engage in conversations with people that, you know, it's kind of like that back and forth, you know, building each other up. And, you know, that's really what I do. So I read books, I pray, meditate, take walks, and engage in like-minded people.
Okay, good. Yeah, I've tried to get at least a run in every day, because if I don't have my blood pumping and just waking me up, then that just doesn't get me motivated. You know, I'm just kind of like dragging my body around without that. So that's one of my techniques. I actually used to not work out in the morning, but it's been tremendously helpful.
Now, I don't work out in the morning, I just take a walk. I work out in the evening because I can't go to the gym in the morning. I just can't do it. But I'm also a believer in taking care of the whole. Like, I think that like if you're not dealing with your personal life, your professional life's gonna suffer. You know, if you're not dealing with your health, your mind's gonna have problems. So I'm a big proponent of taking care of the whole system.
Oh yeah. It
For
definitely,
true success, for true success.
yeah, it all interrelates.
Yes.
So back to the land business, say you've got a few deals under your belt and you've kind of heard about hiring VAs to start really scaling to leverage other people's time and effort. So when do you feel like is the right time to start hiring virtual assistants?
So the best time to start hiring virtual assistants is whenever you are getting um, held up doing things that other people can do that don't lead toward you closing a deal, which can be in the land business. It can be things like property research, marketing your lots, pulling pictures. Um, you know, whenever you find that getting to the closing table is being hindered by like tedious things. If you're mailing out and you're printing your envelopes and letters yourself, and you can outsource that. If it's taking you 3 hours to pull pictures and put your property on the market and do due diligence, or if it's taking you a day, then you can outsource that. So my the direction when I started getting VAs, and I have a personal assistant, and then I use VAs for specific tasks, and then I outsource like letters and stuff like that, bulk mailing. I do bulk mailing. Um, whenever I knew I needed to make that transition is when I knew I needed to work on my business and not in my business, and I decided that okay, it's time for me to get this stuff off my plate so I can figure out how to scale my business to the next level, because one person can only do so much, and you're hindered by just being a solo entrepreneur. So whenever you realize it, whenever it's time to scale, and you feel that internal resistance, but you still got to do it anyways. Just hire the assistant. You can afford it.
Yeah, I fully understand. The point I'm at, I've hired some VAs, but I still don't even have time to follow up with the leads. So I have one that's cold calling and running some ringless voicemail campaigns for me, and I'm still like taking some inbound calls from mailers that we sent. But the leads so far, it's only been like the past couple of weeks where I've like been having these VAs working like every day. Actually, one starting today, and then the other one has already been working. And I just feel like maybe the new one that starts today should be the one that like takes those leads and closes it, because I don't even have time to go back to those leads because I'm also busy on the sell side trying to sell the other stuff we already have under contract. So how do you feel like you kind of how should I overcome this hurdle of, I don't know, connecting all the dots, even though I have VAs?
So I would make a list of all the duties that need done and delegate out what you want to do and what somebody else can do, and create if you have to create some kind of training program, your videos, how to's, do it that way. I have a local stay-home mom assistant, which to me is just golden. I mean, she can pick up my mail if I'm out of town. She can come to my house and do stuff if she needs to if I'm gone. But yeah, so I do this quarterly also. I make a list of what I'm doing and what I need my assistant to do. And once you are clear on what you're going to do and what they're going to do, then you can just begin to outsource it. And what are the time suckers? What are the things that you're just tripping over? Like, what are the things that you can pay somebody to do, and then you can focus on growing the business?
Okay. Yeah. A good example of that is like I'll have ads running on, or not even ads, just the free stuff on Marketplace, and it's the same stuff over and over. Are there any restrictions? Can I put a mobile home? Blah blah blah. Is this available? This available? And so that's one thing I'm definitely gonna have my VA do, is just handle that stuff, because I don't have any time to sift through to try to find the one that's gonna buy after talking to 200 people.
Yes.
Just maddening.
And then sometimes you get blocked from Facebook. Oh my gosh, that
happened to me yesterday. It was I felt betrayed. I was like, I'm paying you. I'm actually paying you money for the ads, and like they still send me receipts. Those assholes. Like, Like, oh,
I
we've charged your
know.
credit card for the ads, but we've also blocked your marketplace access. So it's like, all right,
Yeah.
up yours,
Yeah.
fine.
So I wasn't blocked for that. Some years ago, they blocked me, and then I thought I had it figured out, and then on April 15th, they blocked me, and thankfully we have two accounts.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny because I was actually like on the fence about closing my secondary account that I had my other VA working on and seasoning. And then yesterday, the day that they blocked my marketplace access on my primary account, the secondary one just got like marketplace on the top toolbar. So I was like, oh, it seems free and clear now, ready to go. It's seasoned. So now I
Yeah.
can coincidentally use it. So now I'm wondering, did they block marketplace on the first one because I just got on the second one? Do they know? Like, it's a
I
black
don't
box,
know.
right?
And Facebook won't answer you. So
It's just a black hole. Like, it's just frustrating.
it is
Actually,
frustrating.
before we were recording, I was mentioning, talked to David Van, and he was saying that you get the Facebook customer service phone number after you spend a certain amount of money on ads, and you become part of this elite group. And so, other than that, I think there's no way to contact anyone at Facebook.
Well, there's the support. I send messages to support, and normally I'm back on Marketplace by now, but it was like the 15th of April, and I checked a couple days ago, and I'm still not back on it. But thankfully, my lots right now are like high priced properties, so they're listed with realtors on the MLS. So I don't really have any inexpensive lots right now, which the inexpensive ones are the ones that sell on Marketplace, less expensive.
Yeah, yeah, I've found that. Once I reached like I had some ad running for like $1 million property, and one was at 500,000, and the 500,000 one got more pings. But you're right, as you scale lower in price point, you definitely get more pings.
Yeah, and if
It
you're,
depends on
and
the
I've
area.
I've got a couple $500,000 lots right now, and I mean, they're gonna sell on the MLS. They're not gonna, and I have contracts there. I don't own them. I have the contract on them. So listing a property that you have a contract on takes a little bit of skill, and it takes a little bit of knowing a realtor in Florida. I'm in Florida. You can't do it in Florida very easily. Different states have different rules in terms of being able to list a contract and you not being the owner. So those are some things that you have to have a good relationship with a good realtor, and that helps for expensive lots.
So do you feel like it's necessary to find a realtor that's intimately familiar with land, or not necessarily, as long as they're just have a good relationship with you,
Well, y- uh,
or
you
both?
want somebody that is investor friendly, because some realtors can kill deals. And currently, all of my land that's listed is actually listed within the land profit generator group, and with realtors that are already in the group that are already land investors. So thankfully, I have that support and I have that circle, and all of them that I have listed are in Florida. I just got a new contract in Arizona, but I think we're gonna buy it and develop that lot. So we won't list it till we develop it.
Okay. That's one thing I had also learned, is that each state has their own MLS. And there's like multiple MLS within each state, right? So you
Yeah, and
couldn't like
sometimes within
Arizona
each
lot,
county.
or each county, yeah.
Definitely.
So I'd like to just drill in a little bit more into like what is that finesse, that special approach to listing it when it's only under contract? I mean, is that something that the realtor handles, or do you know any more detail on that?
So, well, it depends. Whenever you list a property with a realtor, they can't put you down as the owner. They have to put you down as holding the contract, and you will have to give them your contract, which should not be an issue. But you have to be clear with the realtor that you're not the owner, and your contract clearly states, and it does, that you have the right to market the property. So, and some
Okay.
people will just turn it away. That's why I try to look for realtors within the land profit generator group who are already doing deals, who are familiar with what I'm doing, and they don't think that like I'm doing something shady.
Yeah. Yeah, because if people don't understand something, it must be illegal. That's always what people immediately go to.
And unfortunately, if a realtor is not investor savvy or friendly, then they don't they don't get it, and they think what you're doing is illegal. They'd be like, you can't market a property and you're not a realtor. Well, I can.
Yeah.
They don't understand that, and that's okay. Sometimes you have to talk to them, and sometimes they'll be open to the conversation, and sometimes they won't. But if they're going to bring me a buyer and they want a commission, hey, let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So, you mentioned like $500,000 lots. I'm just trying to think, what is your usual criteria? Are you doing infill lots or tertiary or both? Tertiary, like secondary markets outside of the major cities, or what's like your typical profile land you're doing?
So it's typically a residential lot. And I like to, when I first started, I kind of like would take any parcel, between like, 5,000 and, 100,000 type of thing. But as I'm progressing, it seems like I'm getting larger deals more frequently. And of course, you like those because they have a higher payday, higher spread. So I don't want to make any less than 5,000. And usually the properties that are 5,000 end up being seller financed. Like the lower end properties, I sell them on terms, seller financing, which I love. I love getting the income. I love the passive income. It's probably my preferred, but of course you need that. You need cash deals too, just to, keep buying more land. So in general, I like to make, if I'm doing a cash deal, I like to make at least 15K. If I'm doing seller finance, it's usually under 15, typically. Well, sometimes under 20 for seller finance, and you will sell seller finance properties all day long.
Okay. And what's like the typical monthly payment on those smaller deals?
Well, if it's a smaller deal, you're usually going to get maybe $5,000 to $1,000 down, and it's usually somewhere between $120 to $300 a month, depending on the price of the property. I
Okay.
have a couple higher price properties where I'm getting like $1,000 a month, which is always nice, with the higher amount down for the land.
Okay. I maybe am not doing mine right in terms of the pricing, and so you could tell me a way to improve this. And I think this is the reason I only have like one deal on term. Most all of my deals have been cash deals. So like I'll advertise it on Facebook and like that's the cash price, right? And then they'll ask, well, what's the financing terms? So I'll tell them, oh, you put this down and this is the monthly amount. Or sometimes I'll just tell them the down payment. But once they tell them the monthly amount, they always multiply it out and they say, oh, well, this is suddenly like multiples more than the cash offer. I'm like, yeah, I know, but the cash offer has an implied like 30% discount. And, look, I'm financing this over like 5 years. Like, what do you expect? Like, if you just multiply your monthly mortgage payments, you're also paying multiples more than what the initial price is. Like, so is it just like a talk that you have with the people, or like, do you only, I don't know, do you have like is it solved by just increasing the volume of possible terms buyers? What do you
So
think?
I don't get that question a whole lot, but I do get it. So in my seller financing, I put my seller financing right out in the open because I want people to say, oh, I can get this piece of land for 500 down, 150 a month. So if I am questioned on that 150 a month for 5 years doesn't add up to the purchase price. So correct, it doesn't, because in that you're getting charged interest, you're getting charged a service fee, and you're getting charged property taxes. So if they have any questions about it, I said the service charge, I charge $20 a month service charge. I'm servicing your loan. There are property taxes, the 12-month fee divided by each month, and interest. I'll charge anywhere between 8 and 12% interest. So, that's what's included in it. And, that's the price one pays to seller finance things, and I always bring it back around. When you buy a car, you're not just paying the price of the car, you're getting all kinds of fees put in, and I just kind of try to make that connection because everybody's bought a car. hopefully.
Yeah. Unless they live in New York or something. I lived in New York for like 6
Yeah,
years,
right,
and
right, right,
that's
right.
a very rare exception.
Yeah, that's right. You don't need a car in New York.
Yeah. But
Uh-uh-uh.
it's actually, I didn't even, I was like, I was glad when I moved from Texas, I sold my car and I was like, oh, it's just a liability. I don't have to deal with that. And there's just so much traffic anyway. I wouldn't want to fight the traffic. I did once or twice renting a car and driving around there, but
Like Miami, if you've been to Miami, you got to valet park everything. You're gonna spend, if you're there for a week and you're gonna spend $150 just on valet parking.
yeah. Yeah. When I was in Miami, we were doing Ubers around, and sometimes it
Yes,
was pretty bad, just traffic and stuff. But
a lot
yeah,
of Rolls Royces in Miami.
yeah, just a lot of everything, tons of money. It's crazy.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Um, that's a whole other thing. I'm thinking about this, the skyscrapers and those giant condos, everything. Actually, why don't you tell us a little bit more about your development deal in Arizona or elsewhere? You said you were, I guess, starting that process because it seems like a
Yeah,
one of the natural evolutions of a land business is to kind of go that route.
it is. So I have been wanting to get a piece of land and add value to it. So there's a lot of different ways you can add value to land. Sometimes you can just buy land and split it, and that adds value to it. Sometimes you can just clear it, put a fence on it, adds value. But I wanted to add more value, um, just kind of as a personal goal, and just to see if I can do it. And I haven't done it yet, but I've got a lot right now that's on the that I have a contract that I just got a contract for, and I want to split it and either add modular homes, mobile homes, maybe turn it into an RV park. We are currently in the due diligence phase, and I'm working with some partners on it. So we don't quite know what the highest and best use is for it. And we also don't know, as this being the first lot to develop, what what direction we want to go in. But what I'm doing is, so this being brand new, and I'm totally excited about it, like totally excited about it. I've been talking to other land investors that have done it, and I've been reaching out to, I have a wonderful connection group of investors. I have a great network of investors all over the United States. And, I can just make a few phone calls, I can send a few messages, and I've got all this great response, people helping me. So I've never split a lot, so it's a 24-acre lot, and I don't know if we're going to do an RV park on it. I don't know if the zoning will allow it, or if we're going to split it up in 5-acre lots, or 12 2-acre lots. So right now, we're in the research stage, in the due diligence stage. But we can go from, if I just sold it today, as is, I'd make like 160 or 70K profit, which is great. Okay. I add value to it, and it could be like, 700,000, maybe 1 million in profit, long term. So for this project, we have to work out the numbers, see what it costs to add the well, add the septic, get the zoning, get the permits, get the modulars. There's a lot of moving parts that I've never experienced yet. I haven't gone through this experience, but I'm going through it right now. So again, thankfully, I have a great network of people that are willing to help and even partner with me. And we'll probably be pulling in some other investors to help with financing it, helping them get a good return on their investments as well. So we're just kind of looking to do a win-win situation for everybody involved, and it's exciting. And that is kind of the evolution of doing land, because I probably didn't have the confidence to do that, say, a year and a half ago, nor did I find the right parcel that would fit in the criteria of developing. But this one, it just opened right up. So we're moving forward with it.
Okay.
Yep.
So to determine the highest and best use, are you doing a feasibility study, or what's that process?
Well, I will let you know as we progress.
Okay.
So I
Sounds good.
don't know. Again, this is all new territory for me. And these are, areas that I haven't worked in, and I don't even really know how to do some of this. But if you're going to grow as a business owner and an entrepreneur, you have got to learn and grow. So this is an area where I'm definitely going to have to open up and learn and grow and take some risk in order to, basically check it off the bucket list. I want to develop a piece of land, and it's more about doing what I want to do. I mean, the money is the benefit, but we all have certain things we want to do in life, and this happens to be one for me.
Okay.
And I'll happen to make money and help other people make money. So, and give people a good place to live. So, that's kind of the goal.
Yeah. I mean, you could definitely see like your lasting impact that you had on that part of the world, right? Versus just like flipping it. So yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
And you mentioned possibly raising capital. And before we were recording, you were saying you were starting to get into that. So are you focusing on the private money lenders or going to the bank, or what's best, do you think?
So my focus is private money, and my focus is, trying to find that perfect match between people who are wanting to make money on their money and connecting them with sound real estate deals. So, again, I'm working towards that win-win situation. Oftentimes people got money sitting in an IRA, they're sitting in a bank account, and it's not making anything. What I want to do is be able to offer somebody that wants to make some money on their money. Maybe they're not even real estate investors. Maybe they just want to, get a better return on their on their money. So what we're doing is we're working towards creating that environment where we offer deals to people with a better rate of return than they would get sitting in an IRA or sitting in a bank account. And I'm finding that that is the way to go about it, because people are starting to come to me interested in, how can I make money on my money? Well, let me present this deal to you. And again, it becomes a win-win situation, and it's much better than coming from, I need money. You hear a lot of land flippers. They'll be like, not land flippers, but house flippers. They'll be like, they're coming from a desperate state. I need money. I need money to flip this property. And that's not what I want. I want to be able to add to somebody, not just take. So that's kind of how we're going about it.
Okay, that's funny. Right before um, jumping on this call with you, I was listening to Jack Bosch's podcast, and he was talking with another guy from, I forget his name, from North Carolina, talking about how he raised like over $7 million from 45 investors.
Yeah.
And it was just exactly what he said too. Never ask for money. It's like how to raise capital without asking for capital. And a lot of it seems like education, because a lot of people don't really know that you can do more than just invest in mutual funds with your IRA money, and like talking about self-directed IRAs and other things like that. Actually, on prior episodes on my podcast, we've gone into that pretty deeply, like also dividend paying whole life insurance policies and using that like for infinite banking strategies, and to be your own bank. That's a whole nother thing, but yeah, it's funny that you say that though. It seems like the best way to go. And
It
actually,
is, and it's exciting because you want return. You want people to come and return to you, and you want them to make money, and you want to make money. And what better way than real estate? I can't think of any better way.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's and the reason I always liked it is because there's always like a floor of value. I mean, yeah, like in 08, 09, at least in the single family sector, like valuations can definitely plummet through the floor, but there's always going to be a base value there. And I think if you're participating in the market the right way and not speculating, then you're not going to get burned, at least not as bad anyway. So
I've never got burnt on a deal. I've always made money. I've never lost money in land investing ever.
yeah, that's why you got to stick with land. You can't just, buy a house. And that's what's scarier to me. Like people doing fix and flips, like you're just investing a lot of capital. Over the weekend, I was talking to a guy who said, yeah, he bought this place for, 200, and he put 100 into it and sold it for I forget what the numbers were. Bought it for 50. Bottom line, you put like 100,000 capex in there and made 100,000 profit. But it's like that's a lot of money to put in there to hope that it's going to sell. Like, hold on, buddy. I just want to wholesale this, not put any capital in,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not have to like have these indefinite timelines and maybe a blank check, like growing budget of the capex you have to put into the property. So, unless
Yeah,
I guess
with land, you don't have to worry about replacing floors or the pipes needing replaced or the wiring needing. It's just land.
yeah. Actually, moving from a New York apartment to a 3-bed, 2-bath house, it's just been just managing my own house. It's been enough. So
All that walking, right?
Yeah. I mean, like replacing a hot water heater and stuff like this. And I did mow my yard at first, which I did it as a kid, but at that time I didn't, you have plenty of time. This time I was like, you know what, I'm going to pay somebody because I don't have any time for this. This sucks all my energy. I just
outsource.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was vacuuming the floor and I was telling my wife, why don't we, this is the next thing to outsource. I could be closing a $20,000 deal, or I could save $100 a month by not paying someone to vacuum the floor. So it's not just hiring VAs in the land business. It's all about just outsourcing all that.
That's right. Well, so I'm a huge proponent again of creating the life that you want to live, creating a business around how you want to live, not the other way around. I have been a slave to businesses and jobs in the past. I want a different outcome. So I have to function differently again. It goes down to the choices that you're making, and not choices just based on what's familiar, choices based on where you want to go in life.
Definitely. I mean, that's definitely what I'm doing as well.
Yeah.
I think that personal assistant really stands out as someone I need to find for myself as well, because having overseas VAs, they can't, run to FedEx or UPS store to get things notarized and drop them off and all this. Like when I'm doing self-closing on smaller deals, it's like, I'm just running around chasing my tail here. I mean, it's great, I'm making money, but it's like, I'm just getting exhausted. And like, I don't have any time to like be making calls on these new leads to replenish the pipeline. Like, this is counterproductive. So I'll look into that too.
I personally love having a personal assistant, and I like that she's a stay-home mom.
Yeah.
She's great. I don't have to keep track of her. She calls me.
That's good. She keeps track of you.
She keeps track of me. But it is good for accountability also to have, she's always like, okay, and we have weekly meetings. What's going on this week? What's the priority? What do we need to focus on to get deals closed? And that is always the priority. How we get new deals in, how do we sell deals? Everything else, that's what counts.
Okay. And did you find her through like hiremymom.com?
Oh my gosh, no. There was a lady on Facebook. She poached a Facebook ad. A lady posted on Facebook, I need to work from home. Can anybody help me? I responded. I said, can you stuff and stamp letters? She didn't respond quickly. My assistant did. And then she started messaging me. And next day I had an interview with her and hired her. So it was totally coincidental, divine intervention, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's like
been with me almost for 2 years now, and she's great. I would not give her up. I will pay her to stay with me.
Okay. That's great. I think it really helps like having her in the same town as well.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, at least in the United States too, that would also help.
Well, for me, it's good having her in town because I print my offers. She picks them up, she stuffs and stamps them and drops them in the mail for me. Or if I'm gone, she comes to my house while I'm on vacation and she does all the offers for me at my house. I just give her the key. So, but I'm comfortable with her being in my house.
Right. So why don't you use like letterprinting.net or click to mail to do?
I do for my neutral letters, but for my offers at this point, we just do in-house.
Oh, just like smaller volume?
Well, we do at least 200. Every time we send out offers, we're doing at least 200 offers at a time. So it's just, I don't know, it's just easier for me to maintain and control. And I know when they're going to hit also.
Okay. Got it. Is that like kind of ad hoc, or is that every week that you're doing like 200?
I do first offers, second offers, blind offers, and we do offers every week. Usually at least a minimum 200 week
Okay, got it.
general.
200. Okay,
Sometimes more if we have a huge blind offer campaign.
got it. Yeah, I've actually never had success. Well, I've only sent out one neutral letter campaign so far, but it was like 3,000 units, and I got one phone call from it. Still working that lead. She's a bit of a crazy woman, so
Or neutral letters or for blind offers.
neutral. I'm sticking to blind now. I just sent another blind offer, and I already have like 4 deals under contract from my blind offer, and just
Yeah.
I am preaching the good gospel of blind offers because
I like blind. So I like
yeah.
neutral letters. I get a higher rate of return on neutral letters, but that we outsource. There's no way, because we're doing like 750, 8,000 a month neutral letters. So there's no way I'm going to do that in-house. But our blind offers, we usually, it's just easier to manage for me to do it in-house.
Okay. Yeah, I got also see that like neighbor letters and stuff like that.
Yeah, and again, my assistant does, I bought her a printer, and she has a printer at her house, and she does the neighbor letters also for me. So again, I've made the list of what I do and what she does.
Okay. That's what I'm gonna do
And,
after this call here.
and usually quarterly, I reevaluate where we are. And I looked over here because I have my calendar. Like I do a quarterly re-goal and then a monthly goal. And every quarter I make one big goal, whatever it is, whether it's create another stream of income, close $100,000, a larger deal, $100,000 deal, whatever that bigger goal is. And then we have like monthly goals and weekly goals. So that, and then we have to reevaluate every quarter, because I can't go too far out, because all of a sudden you'll get an idea and you'll get something that you may want to implement that makes you more efficient. And you need to implement it. Not why wait for next year.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I've been working on it as well. It's like, well, I want to make X amount of money in my first year, so I'm going to reverse engineer that, and how much do I have to make per month? What does that equate to, like number of deals? And well, to get those deals, how many leads, how many offers do I need to be making, or
Yes.
blind offers sending out, whatever. But then like on the sell side, it's kind of unpredictable. Some days I might sell 2 properties or 3 or whatever, maybe 3 at most, but sometimes it's just like there's a lag where there's a week that nothing happens at all. So how do you kind of account for that lumpiness?
I don't worry about it.
Okay. It all smooths out at the
It
end,
does.
right?
It does. Like literally, there'll be like 1 month a year where like nothing, everything's just lag, nothing's selling, nothing's coming in. I just don't worry about it. I just go on vacation, whatever. Go chill at the beach. You know what I'm saying? Don't stress it, because you're gonna turn the corner, and like the first quarter, like almost all of my inventory sold out. And so now I'm like running down, getting new contracts in, and all of my contracts I'm getting in are higher priced, which means it takes a little more effort to sell them. You got to put them with the realtor, MLS, this and that. But payday is going to be good, So there are times whenever there might be a lag, but again, I don't concern myself with it. I just keep doing what I do, and turn the corner, you're going to get a bunch of contracts in. Turn the corner, you're going to sell a bunch of properties. I was talking to another land investor the other day. They were like, yeah, my inventory is low. I talked to him last Friday. We had luncheon. Talked to him yesterday. He got 19 contracts in. So, I mean, you know what?
Yeah, exactly.
Turn the corner. There it is.
Yeah, and that's just so key. I've heard so many investors say that, land investors specifically, like just you got to be consistent. Just
Yeah.
keep doing that, and that's what I'm trying to get into. Is that just strict schedule, like at least like each of my mailers, I try to do at least like 2,000 units, and I'm trying to do those at least once every 2 weeks, because it takes about 2 weeks for one to hit, and so I create this cycle. And but then it's just difficult because you have all these other things going on, and so.
I do once a month mailings. I can't do the once a week, twice a week. It just bothers me as a person.
Okay.
So I do lumps. I do 1 week, we're sending out letters. 1 week, we're doing property research. 1 week, we're sending out offers. Next week, we're getting in contracts. Although, of course, it's not always like that, but that's the bulk. The concentration is week to week to week. And because that every single week dealing with property research, oh my gosh, it just drives me crazy. So I try to lump things into weeks, because I know if this week we're doing property research, boom, get that knocked out. Next week, we're going to throw out all the offers. And in between, we're doing first offers, second offers, blind offers. And of course, people trickle in, bringing in contracts, calling, wanting to negotiate, but I find that my workflow works better whenever I just do mailings once a month. So you may want to try that. It kind of, in my world, has evolved that way, and I prefer it that way.
Okay. So even if I have like 2 or 3 different areas I want to send out mailers to, I guess I could just do like 2,000 each of them all in the same day. Huh. Yeah.
I do multiple states, multiple counties, and just get the Excel spreadsheet and send it over to ITI. And that's who I use, ITI, for my mailing. And they just send it out. They take a little while, in my opinion.
Yeah. I thought it was.
But I guess I could pay more and have it go out, but I'm trying to like lower my costs. Not, I don't mind. I'll wait.
Yeah. Yeah, it is tough. I mean, it is not that cheap, but I mean, I think because it's just on the volume of it. Like I know if it's like a 2,000 unit mailer, it's like 53 cents per unit. So it's just the lumpiness in the cash flow again, where you spend in $1,500 up front, but then you're going to make like just multiples more back. It's just going to wait for it.
Yeah, and it is, sometimes it is a little it hurts a little, but the higher volume you go up, the less expensive it is. I think I spent 51 cents on each letter, which you can't beat that. I mean, what's a stamp cost?
Exactly. That's what I always say. It's like, if I did this myself, no, I'm just not even going to go there, because
don't even go there. I did when I first started. I did it all myself, and I was like, yeah, this is the first thing that has to go, because look, I just can't do it. I was just I was being cheap.
It's a scarcity mindset. Like just cannot do that.
It is the evolution of an entrepreneur.
Yeah, definitely.
No doubt.
Yeah, that's good. I'm going to try that batch up these things, the ones I got to follow up with, give offers out and all that. So, all right, that's very helpful.
Yep.
All right. You know what? I think we've hit on most everything. Oh, last thing is, but before most episodes, at least recently, I've been talking about Hive Minds, which is hybrid. It's masterminds. We have like a lot of free Clubhouse. Like I said, Clubhouse 12 Central every Saturday, and then Monday and Thursday people can join in even without being like a paid member. But we also have the Hive Mind CRM, which I'm using to manage my business, and you can do text message blasts, emails, set up automated campaigns and all sorts of stuff, manage Facebook ads. So what do you use for your CRM software and other tools like that?
So in the Land Profit Generator, they have software set up just for land. It's called Investment Dominator, and it is through Jack Bosch's program, the LPG, Land Profit Generator. So I'm using Investment Dominator at this point.
Okay, cool. And that's also like fully integrated. Just you can handle everything in there.
Yeah, it is, and it's also integrated with Data Tree. So you can, if you want to pull lists from a list source. I get my list from the county, but sometimes if I'm doing blind offers, I will use a list source. So yeah, it's integrated, and it's set up for land, specific for land.
And does that sync with a website?
It does. It does come with a buying and selling website. The Investment Dominator comes with 2 websites, buying and selling.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that's something that HiveMind's working on getting going. So I'm still using my prior system, which is like having stuff in Airtable, and then Zapier will link Airtable to the REI conversion website I have to
I have
post
an
up to
REI
draft.
conversion website too for land.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you don't actually use the ones that Investor Dominator has going on?
I used them for a while, and we just transitioned last year to REI conversion.
Okay. But
Different functions.
got it. But I guess you don't see a need to like transition to Pebble and that whole thing.
Well, not at this point. I mean, at this point, I'm used to Investment Dominator. I know Investment Dominator. It works for me. So learning another CRM does not appeal to me right at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big transition. Like I'm still learning all the ins and outs of HiveMind. It's just like just yesterday, one of the founders was saying, "Oh yeah, you can run these different reports and stuff." I was like, "Oh, I didn't know you could do that directly in." So okay, to manage my VA, I can see how many calls she's making, all this different stuff. So
Yeah,
average
yeah,
duration.
yeah.
So
That's good.
definitely hear that. I mean, once you have a working system, you don't want to like rejigger it and just mess things around and completely transition unless there's like some really good reason, I guess. So
Yeah, and if I can do land investing, anybody can do land investing. Like those type of things, software, like people be talking to me and I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I have to pay someone to do these things.
yeah, well, that's the great thing too these days. You can always just pay for a turnkey solution, just kind of piece things together without
Correct.
having to learn the coding behind it.
Yeah, because I tried to do my REI conversion, like even upload my pictures. I'm like, no, I have to pay somebody because if it's taking me an hour to upload a picture, somebody else can do it and the whole thing in an hour.
Yeah.
Why waste my time on that?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, I guess so. The last question, how would you say people should get started if they want to get involved in land investing, maybe get in touch with you and learn more about the land profit generator and things you're doing?
So you should have a link available for anybody that is interested. Just to get, there's a free webinar. It's you can get to it through landflippingfund.com. And Mason should have it probably in one of your descriptions somewhere in the podcast. You can reach me, Christina Walls, Facebook, LinkedIn, Christina Walls, Instagram, Christina_13 Walls. So, but if you want to learn how to do land investing, to me, in my opinion, I'm a huge fan of Land Profit Generator. Check out the free webinar just to get an overview of what it has to offer. If you have more questions, please reach out to me, on Facebook, Instagram, even clwalls71@gmail.com. If you have questions regarding it, I would say get into the circle of land investors and get a little education on it. And in my opinion, Land Profit Generator, the Jack Bosch program, is hands down the easiest because it's step by step.
Okay, great. This is leaving our listeners with a lot of actionable items here. So hopefully
Yes.
they've gained something from it, and really appreciate you having on the show. And this has been very helpful for me as well. So got to start applying more of these things in the business.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Well, thank you for having me, no doubt.
Sure.
And I wish you success in your land business.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll definitely stay in touch.
Yes, definitely, definitely.
All right, great. Goodbye. All right, that's another episode of Scalable Real Estate Investing. Thank you for tuning in. Please be sure to leave a review and subscribe on whatever channel you're using to listen or watch these episodes. And also be sure to go to scalablerealestateinvesting.com, scroll to the bottom, and fill out the form to sign up for our email. And you could also reach me directly at mason@scalablerealestateinvesting.com. That's MASON at scalablerealestateinvesting.com. If you'd like to get in touch with me to either partner on deals or even be considered to do your own episode on this podcast. Thanks again, and have a great day.